Legends of the racing world, Max and Lewis, have clashed on track, and there is blame to throw everywhere. Their rivalry seemed to have been a thing of the past in 2021, but this incident clearly showed that there is still some love left between the two. On another note, there is also talk about whether George Russell's win will affect Hamilton's future titles. Something other than rubber is burning. Let's find out more. First off, what happened between the two? There is no doubt that Max has been in the highlights this season, with not only how well he is driving, but also how much professionalism he is showing in his races. This incident, however, has all eyes on him, because it was the Dutch who caused the crash as he fought his opponent for second place on the first safety car restart. Clearly, they're hungry for points. As the race was resumed, both drivers took off, and going in the first turn, he took the high line in an attempt to get past Hamilton because he knew it wouldn't be possible in a sprint run. Lewis went ahead during the second turn, but Max was right on his tail, and the two crashed, causing damage to Verstappen's front wing and leaving his own car with a punctured tire. There's always so much between the two of them. After the race, Mad Max claimed that the billion-dollar man didn't leave him any room, while the other claimed that this was no racing incident. The result of the event, however, was in Hamilton's favor, and his rival was given a 5-second penalty for causing the collision. Some say that the stewards also noted the fact that Lewis could have left a bit more space on the track, so basically, we can't really blame either of them completely. Yeah, that's a little annoying, but the verdict's in. Next up, how exactly can you overtake in F1? Now, this is a question that has to be answered for us to get to the bottom of the situation. After the overtaking done by drivers back in 2021, there was a lot of talk about who might have the right when going into corners or pulling off such moves. Ahead of this season, guidelines and rules were given to the drivers about such overtaking, and that might have ruled in Hamilton's favor. Looks like the rivalry is bound to continue. According to the rules, if a driver wants to overtake on the inside, a significant portion of his car should be alongside the other car, and all of this should be managed safely and securely. You might be wondering what a significant portion means, but that is something that only the stewards, the officials who are present at every match to make decisions. According to the F1 rulebook, no. In the footage, we can see that Verstappen's wheels were alongside Hamilton's car when they neared the turn, but according to the stewards, there wasn't enough control, and his overtake at the previous turn hadn't been completed. The racer braked very late in the first turn to overtake his opponent, and this extra speed in the second turn caused the two to collide. While he could have still been obeying the rules, his pace made it impossible to perform such a maneuver safely. If we don't put it to rest, the debate on who's to blame would go on forever. At this point, let's just accept the steward's decision. Lastly, what do the fans and drivers have to say? It's apparent that their rivalry isn't only restricted to the track. Both have taken verbal shots at each other, and we're sure they're both angry. Talking about Lewis, after the race, he talked to the reporters and said that this was how it is with Max. When pressed for clarification on his answer, he said that it's natural for him to become a target with all the numbers he has on his uniform. Pretty cheeky of him, we must say. On the other hand, Verstappen didn't seem to have held back either, explaining that his rival had no intentions of letting him have any space in the corner. He also went on to say that Lewis would have still been ahead, even if he gave him space, adding that he has come here to race and put on a good show, but his opponent doesn't want to work with him. If this isn't a direct attack, we don't know what is. The two-time back-to-back world champ is talking facts. The fans received a treat from the sport and took to social media to express their thoughts. One person said that the Brazilian Grand Prix has never failed to disappoint, and that Mercedes deserved both the double podium, while another fan said that Max has a habit of dive bombing and creating spaces forcefully, thinking it's his right. So many clashes between the fans and the drivers have got us on the edge of our seats for the next season. Moving on, is George a threat to Hamilton? To answer it bluntly, we don't think that's the case here. What we mean to say say is that although they are both rivals and want to compete, we don't believe there is a sourness in that relationship. In the latest Brazilian Grand Prix, George Russell won the first ever first-place podium of his career, and consequently, it was the first win Mercedes had the whole season. We believe it's very much possible that this could prove to be the breakthrough the young driver needed. Jenson Button, an ex-teammate of Lewis, back when he was with McLaren, said that the racer would not want George to beat him, but had the young driver come to Mercedes 5 years before, he would have seen a completely different side of Hamilton, and we agree with him because he was only racing to win. He also added that the experienced racer had become a much more rounded person, and that this pair is not one to be affected by external opinions, because both drivers are comfortable with themselves and each other. One of the most important things that exist in a driver's relationship is respect, and it seems that there is no sign of any shortage there. This is exactly how teams are built and championships are won. We're honestly glad to see that this case isn't the same as it was with Valtteri Bottas. Up next, why he'll not take any pressure from Russell. Let's face it, Hamilton isn't exactly on the winning spree that we all might have hoped, and it's no big deal that he's taking things slow for now. His current season isn't as good if you look back at what he has accomplished throughout the years. But all in all, one thing that has stayed true for the driver is his will to fight. While he wasn't great, he still wasn't anywhere close to last place, or even the middle row for that matter. He's tried with the car as much as he can, and we believe that he can bounce back stronger than before. We say this with confidence, not only because of how good he is, but because he's been in these situations before. He has had teammates like two-time championship winner Fernando Alonso alongside him to guide him, Nico Rosberg, who was a childhood friend but became sour when the title was on the line, and racing against Michael Schumacher, a 7-time world champion. The guy has learned a lot over the years, and racing under pressure is no big feat for him anymore. His relationship with George will remain a good one because he isn't one to get startled by competition. He's had that all his life. What do you guys think? Finally, what do the drivers and Mercedes say? Tapping into the team itself to see how well things are, the team principal Toto Wolff said that both Lewis and George were very good drivers, and that was a good thing because at Mercedes, they don't like to put a puppy in the car. Whoa! He also said that the team tries to manage this relationship as well as they can. Talking to the media, Lewis said that since he's been with the team for so long, it wouldn't be a problem to manage any challenges that they might come across in the future. He explained that he'd seen Russell at Williams, and that it was impressive how he performed this year with consistency and hard work. The driver also added that George had been sitting behind him for a few years and seeing the work that he'd done, so including him in the team was the right decision. This is what we call sportsmanship. On the other hand, the young driver talked about feeling like a rookie at some stages because the level at which Mercedes operates is new to him. The things he's heard here are some that he hasn't heard in the entire F1. He added that it took him a while to put his head around the number of resources this team has that you can use to increase performance. He ended the conversation by saying that Mercedes is a place of huge capability and potential. That's a wrap for this video. Who do you think was at fault between Max and Hamilton? And is George Russell going to surpass Hamilton? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and press that bell icon for the latest information and news like this. See you in the next one.